Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share a story that's very close to my heart. It's a story about resilience, about that inner voice that sometimes tells us to quit, and about the power of one final push. We've all been there, right? Staring at a goal that feels impossible, wondering if we have what it takes. This story is for anyone who has ever felt that way. It's called The Last Attempt. There was once a young man named Ethan whose heart was set on one single, towering dream: to become a mountain climber. He wasn't just dreaming, though. He was putting in the work. For months, he trained relentlessly, learning the ropes, building his strength, and studying every crevice of the mountain that loomed over his village. He poured his sweat and soul into his preparation. But the mountain was a harsh teacher. Every time Ethan attempted the climb, he would make it halfway, his muscles burning, his lungs gasping for air. And then it would happen. A misplaced foot, a sudden slip of his grip, and he would fall, caught by his safety ropes, defeated once again. One attempt, 2, 3, 4, 5 times he tried, and 5 times he was sent back to the bottom, his spirit a little more bruised than the last time. One morning, after his 5th grueling failure, the sun was just beginning to warm the earth. Ethan wasn't training. He was just sitting at the foot of the immense mountain, a small figure dwarfed by its sheer size. He was utterly exhausted, not just physically but mentally. The weight of his repeated failures felt heavier than the mountain itself. He stared up at the peak, which seemed to mock him from the clouds, and a profound sense of despair washed over him. As he sat there, lost in his thoughts of defeat, an old man with a kind, weathered face and a long white beard was walking along the path. He walked with a steady, unhurried pace, carrying a simple wooden staff. Seeing the young man looking so dejected, he paused and approached him. His voice was gentle, like the rustling of leaves. "Why are you sitting here, son?" the old man asked, his eyes twinkling with a wisdom that seemed as ancient as the mountain itself. "The sun is up and the world is moving. But you are still," Ethan sighed, not even bothering to look up. He just shook his head, the words tumbling out in a wave of frustration and sadness. "I've tried so many times," he confessed, his voice barely a whisper. "I've trained, I've planned, I've given it everything I have, but I keep failing. I climb halfway and the mountain throws me back down. Maybe this mountain just isn't meant for me. Maybe this dream is for someone else." The old man didn't offer empty platitudes or tell Ethan to simply try harder. Instead, he just smiled, a warm, knowing smile that reached his eyes. He leaned on his staff and looked up at the colossal peak, the same one that had been tormenting Ethan. After a moment of silence, he spoke again, his voice calm and powerful. "Do you know why a mountain stands so tall and proud?" he asked, his question hanging in the still morning air. Ethan looked at him, confused. The old man continued, "It's because every single drop of rain that falls on it, every gust of wind that howls against its face, every storm that rages upon its slopes, they all try to bring it down. Millions of years of constant pressure, trying to wear it away. But it still stands." Those words, they didn't just enter Ethan's ears. They struck him like a bolt of lightning. He looked from the old man's serene face to the majestic, unyielding mountain. A mountain doesn't fight the rain. It endures it. It doesn't curse the wind, it stands against it. Its strength isn't in avoiding the storm, but in withstanding it. For the first time, Ethan saw the mountain not as an adversary, but as a symbol of ultimate persistence. The old man nodded, as if he could see the understanding dawning on Ethan's face. He gave Ethan a gentle pat on the shoulder and then continued on his way, leaving the young man alone with his newfound perspective. Ethan sat there for a long time, but he was no longer filled with despair. He was filled with a quiet, burning resolve. The problem wasn't the mountain's height or its difficulty. The problem was his own mindset. The very next morning, the world was still cloaked in the pre-dawn darkness. But Ethan was already awake. He didn't feel the exhaustion of his previous failures. He felt a new kind of energy, a calm determination. He didn't rush. He prepared his gear with focus, checked his ropes with care, and approached the base of the mountain not with the desperate hope of conquering it, but with the quiet promise of enduring it. He started to climb. As the sun began to rise, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, he reached the halfway point, the very spot where he had failed 5 times before. His old doubts tried to creep in, whispering temptations to rest, to turn back. But this time he remembered the old man's words. He was not the rain. He was the mountain. He took a deep, steadying breath, found a new hold, and pushed himself upward. He didn't stop. He just kept climbing, one hold at a time, one breath at a time. The world shrank below him. Hours passed. His body screamed, but his mind was clear and focused. Finally, after what felt like a lifetime, his hand reached over the final ledge. He pulled himself up and stood, breathing heavily, on the summit. He was there, at the top. The wind was sharp and cold, but it felt like a victory song. He looked down and saw the clouds swirling beneath his feet, like a soft white ocean. The world looked different from up here. He had done it. And in that moment of pure, unadulterated triumph, a single thought echoed in his mind, and he whispered it to the wind. "I wasn't waiting for the mountain to change," he said to himself. "I needed to change myself. The mountain was always the same." It was Ethan who had become different. He had become resilient. He had become as unyielding as the rock beneath his feet. This story teaches us such a powerful lesson. So often, we look at our challenges, our mountains, and we wish they were smaller, easier, or less steep. We wait for circumstances to change, for the world to give us a break. But real growth, real victory, doesn't come from the challenge shrinking. It comes from us growing stronger. It's about changing our perspective from "I can't" to "I will endure." Your mountain could be a difficult exam, a career goal, a personal struggle, or a relationship you're trying to mend. Whatever it is, remember Ethan. Remember that every setback is just like a drop of rain. It can either wear you down, or you can choose to stand tall and let it make you stronger. You have the strength of a mountain inside you. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me share this story with you. If it resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you could hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And please, share in the comments what your mountain is right now. Let's support each other. Until next time, keep climbing.